Woo! And welcome to Friends Like Us. I'm Marina Franklin here with you. Hey, it's just me. Evelyn is away. Yes, she is. Starting early. Let's see, there's no one really watching, so I can set my stuff up. Welcome to our live stream. This is Marina Franklin here promoting my podcast, Friends Like Us. Did you know I had a podcast? I do. Some of you know that because you're on the channel right now watching from our Friends Like Us page, right? Some of us you don't know, you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube. There's several ways you can watch, but the best way to watch is on YouTube. And then eventually we are going to restructure things, and the best way to watch maybe on Patreon. I don't know. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm learning some things, okay? Last night I was listening to some white guys talk about how much money they're making from their podcast, and I'm getting like an F. Oh, I'm having a hot flash just thinking about it. Oh, this helps. Yes, hot flashes. This is my hell. This is what I'm dealing with in the summertime. It's worse in the summertime. It happens in the winter, but in the summertime, it's like overactive. So I do this to promote my podcast, Friends Like Us, which is audio, and it's on all platforms. And it's the link tree that is scrolling beneath. You probably see it, right? Friends Like Us podcast here at Linktr.ee / Marina Franklin, Marina Y Franklin. That's my middle initial. So if you have a friend, we have some really great episodes. And I think we're going to take a break for July because it's the summer. Look at how much, oh my God, look at how I'm sweating. And I don't have the fan on because of the dust storm or the campfire that we had on Wednesday, which was absolutely insane. So I don't have my fan on because even though they said it's good air, I don't know. I still don't trust it. Look at that. Look, see that sweat forming? See, it's real. It's real, people. It's really happening. It'll cool down too. In like a second, I'll be freezing. I'm perspiring to cool me off, and then the temperature will drop, and then I'll just be cold. So that's my life. Hello, let me say hi to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Jenny Cohen, thank you. Sanchez. Hi, charming chat community. Yes. Juskow will be joining us, the crazy man. He thinks he thinks this picture is like really funny that we're gonna post that he wants us to see. But again, I'm always like, I don't know. Let's see. Mr. Noise. Good afternoon, Mr. Noise. Look how much I'm sweating, Mr. Noise. It's good to see you. Evelyn is away. And hi, Marina. Hi, Marina. We love you. Do can you tell some more people to love me and to support my podcast financially? I cannot believe. Let me tell you something. This is the number that I found out that these guys were making. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say which podcasts. But on Patreon, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but on Patreon, these guys are killing it. I mean, killing it on Patreon. $15,000 a month on Patreon. Now, I don't know how they do that. I have no idea. I'm not, I focus on writing jokes. I've got my hand in all these different pockets. I do fundraising, all this stuff. So I don't look, I don't know. I didn't grow up learning how to do that kind of stuff, but that's incredible to me. $14,000 a month on Patreon for their podcast. Do you know how much I make? You want to guess? I'll give you guys a guess. Hey, Clifton, what up? But listen, money doesn't make you happy. Oh. The dynamic between Marina and PDJ is so funny. Who's PDJ? Who's PDJ? Is that the Juskow? What's a Patreon? Well, there it is. I guess, you know what? That probably would help for me to explain what Patreon is. So Patreon is a way for people to go and support your podcast. And some people stream their podcast through Patreon only. They don't do it anywhere else but Patreon, and that's where they have all of their listeners and all their subscribers, and everything goes there instead of like on all these other platforms. And so that's how that works out for them. I'm still shiny. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's why I join early, so I can get rid of all the hot flashing. Look at that. Look. It looks like I just ran a marathon. Oh my god. I'm so out of shape. And yeah, so that's what Patreon is spelled. You spelled it. It's spelled like this. Letter Patreon, like this. And I'm gonna put our page / friends like us. I'm gonna show you what it looks like while we're here. And it's only like that. Yes. So I'll share it. Let me do that. Am I clear? By the way, I'm always like worried because of like last week. Like I actually called the tech team and I was like, what the hell is going on? Oh, Professor Dave Juskow, when he announced he was teaching a college course on Clueless, but he thought the P stood for pervert. Oh, yes, that's hilarious. Yes, he's so funny. Okay, so this is what my Patreon page looks like. I'm going to show you. I'll show you because you guys are so sweet to be here early. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, now I think I'm sharing it. Show them. This is what my Patreon page looks like, right? I have a notification because someone has joined and decided to pay. So, I don't even make 300. I make 257. I have 27 Patreon followers. But on Patreon, if you're a golden friend, like you have benefits, okay? Oops. So you have benefits like golden friends get to watch our recording live every Monday. But we're going to work this out so that it does better. I'm going to try to do better with my Patreon page because it's not, it's not, I don't really do too much on it, to be honest. Look, see, it shows that we're live. We're live on Patreon right now. See? It also has the recordings. If you want to watch the recordings live backstage on Monday, you can do that. And then like a few people have joined. But just to give you an idea, I'm going to show you someone who does very well. Let me stop the share. There's someone that has like, let me see what, I don't know how many followers he has. Patreon. Let's see her. Oh, guys. Isn't it beautiful outside finally? Let's see. Let's see. What is... No, I don't want to block the user. Anyway, it's not letting me do it. But think about that. $14,000 a month. Oh my God. Oh, Jenny, you're so sweet. She says, let's all brainstorm how to maximize your monthly earnings for Marina's friends like us. Yeah, because I don't get any ads. I don't do any ads. You know what it is? I'm so busy and I just don't do it. I don't, I'm so happy to just give and provide. I really am. I'm so happy to do the podcast, but I guess that's not like, some people are like, well, you must be afraid of making money because you could be doing so much more with your podcast and you don't. And I have to be honest, like it's good content. No, it's excellent content. Excellent content. And some of the women that we've had on in the past month have been absolutely incredible. I'm actually going to show you. Oh, I'm all clear. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sujay. Until Juskow shows up, right? And then it's his computer. I'm pretty sure of it. What could mean many things? What do you think? I don't know what it means. What could what? I'm so delayed. Now you have 28. Oh, Kathleen Bell. You get a t-shirt. I'm going to send you a t-shirt just for that. Just for that. I have t-shirts with the logo. I don't have the logo on right now because obviously it's hot in my apartment because I've had the windows closed all week because of this storm thing that has been driving me insane. Everyone was like rushing to find their N95 mask or the KN95 mask. Guess who didn't have to rush to find it? This one. Guess who was like, yes, I was right. This one. I mean, those masks, don't put them away. But let me tell you something. On the day that that storm came through, that I don't know, what do you call it? A dust storm, a cloud of smoke, an orange cloud of smoke from Canada, from the wildfires of Canada. When that came through New York City, people were shocked. They weren't prepared. And Mayor Adams came out and he was saying things like, this is what he said. He walked out, I think it was from Gracie Mansion, onto the steps, and he was like, "Ooh, this isn't good. I should tell everyone to stay inside." That's not how the mayor should be doing that, right? Like, shouldn't you have gotten like a weather guy? Isn't there like the best of the best weather people that like call you? Like, isn't there like an emergency call? Like, hey, it's coming, and I remember on New York One, which I still watch, because it gives you local news and it's very up to date news. The guy asked if he had known, and he said, let's not start all that. Let's not get crazy. There's no way I could have known. And I disagree. I think that the mayor's job is to be ahead of everyone else, not to walk out onto your step and be like, "Oh, this is bad." You know, that's my view on that one, because I saw people who were just like didn't know or didn't understand, and I mean they were kind of stupid too, because I saw a guy eating del fresco. That's eating outside. Like I don't eat outside anyway. Like I don't really like that anyway because there's car fumes and I'm crazy and I just don't like it. Because New York is already toxic enough. I mean, there's so much going on. So, unless I'm like further out or if I'm near the water, it's like there's certain areas where obviously where it's more green, less building, less car congestion where I'll eat outside. But on a day where it's actually orange, right? Where you could look up and see that it's not right. Why would you eat outside? And this guy was just, like kind of eating. And then I saw a guy run by, like training for what the mayor said, don't train for a marathon today. I was like, guess what? That's easy for me. I'm not doing crap. I'm sitting at home. Gotta love this mayor. Oh, is my connection sparse? Keep losing your audio and video keeps freezing. Okay. What about the rest of you? How about you, Sujay? Let me know. And I could see Jessica. I was like, oh boy, here we go again with the spark. Hello, all beautiful people. Hello, Stace. It's superbly valuable content. Yes, I have superbly valuable content. Absolutely. Yes, I do. Let me know, Sujay. Sujay, you may have to join us again. I would jump on to help with my Wi-Fi, but just had surgery and have to stay in bed. Oh no. I don't know. I think that let's see. Let me take some things off. That could help. Because when I have tabs open, that's always what it is. So let me try that. Any reason not to have advertising on Friends Like Us? I'll tell you why, because I don't know how to do it. I mean, I did an advertisement for a coffee brand last month that was really good, that joined us. Um, and that was really nice. And long years ago, we were at CBS and they would do advertisements and stuff. So that was really good. So let's see what's going on with my Wi-Fi. Sujay, is this still acting up? Oh, hello. Let's see if we add Juskow if it fixes it. Juskow, oh, he's all excited. No, I'm not adding him yet. I just saw him smile. He's too happy. Let's see. Let me give myself an applause. Add him. But don't forget, the reason I do this is to promote. It looks good from my end, just a sparse stutter. Well, I did change the audio because apparently I smoked too much weed in front of my screen, and so that was causing an issue. And that could be it. I think it's my computer. That's what I think it is. I think there's dust in my computer. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna add them. Here we go. Stop smiling. I could see you.
Hi. Thank you. Why am I so low? You're so high. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Nice to see everybody today. It's a beautiful summer day, or whatever. I have not. I just saw a little freezing, but it seems okay.
Oh, okay. I had to get a new Focus Sprite.
Focus Bright?
Yeah, it's where you plug your microphone in and soundboard or whatever. And apparently there's a thing called the pot on the Focus Sprite. And what happens is if you smoke too much, the pot blows out.
Stop smoking. I didn't know Evelyn wasn't going to be here today. I was like planning, like I have to get up at some point and just get my phone, so I didn't want to leave you hanging.
Pastor Dave of Church of Clueless. They coming in strong.
It's me. Yeah, I have kind of a date after this, I think.
What kind of date?
I don't know. Some girl from college that I never knew. And my friend's like, no, you know her. And I'm like, no, I really don't. And she's like, no, you absolutely totally know she knows you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I don't know. As long as she comes up this way, then I don't mind. As long as I don't have to go anywhere. Because I went to the track yesterday. You should come with me. It's really fun. Actually,
wait a minute. I don't understand.
Opposite of fun, but
how does that what does that have to do with the date?
Oh, because I was in New Jersey yesterday, and I was at the racetrack, and it was very soothing. There was like no one there. It's totally awful and horrible. I've got pictures for anybody. It's on my Patreon page. It's so pathetic, but it was actually soothing, just sitting there on a bench on a beautiful day without the red smoke. Like you were talking, I can't believe you saw somebody eating. I mean, you got to be kidding me. That's like, what were you even doing outside?
I went to go deposit money. That's the only reason why I would go outside.
Oh, yeah, because who the hell would be eating? Just like you say, running. I mean, the mayor specifically said, don't do that. You're breathing in all that very toxic air, I guess. That was so weird. But anyway, it was beautiful yesterday down the Jersey Shore. That's where the track is. And it was just very soothing, and I wasn't like going like, yeah, come on. Like, I was just, I don't know. It was just, and then I got a lot of work done. Like I think it's funny. I wrote my next course lesson for the next semester in my track program, and the racing forum. And I think it's funny to just, that's the kind of teacher I always wanted to be, like Walter Matthau in anything, Well, I figured out when I was at the track that what we should actually talk about is, like the way I used to take my nieces and nephews to the track for their birthdays. We're gonna go to the track this year. You'll love it. I got a tip on the 5th race.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. But I have to say, I forgot to say, I'm sorry, Sujay. I mean, I hope you're recovering, because I just noticed that you said, but I was so concerned. I just was so concerned about my Wi-Fi that I didn't even like acknowledge the fact that you're saying that you just had surgery.
I thought you did acknowledge it, and you said, "I'm sorry to hear that."
Did I say? Did I?
It seemed like you did, and I thought you did, or maybe somebody said it in the chat, but I think he knows how you feel about it.
Okay. So. Yes. Are you okay?
Sorry. Oh, it's just a routine colonoscopy.
How do you know?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I thought he'd be screaming at the screen. How dare he know what my surgery is? It was much more than that. No,
Oh, here we
obviously,
go.
Sujay's a great guy. We want to make sure he's in good shape.
Oh, he's recovering. He goes, "Thank you. I am recovering. I am glad to be able to join. This is the most connection I will get all week." Aww.
I just think it's funny that when he comes on, all internet is good. It's he's the good luck charm of the Friends Like Us bonus show.
Well, apparently it was Angela's thing. It wasn't me really. So
Well, you are freezing.
I am.
Just put sporadically, and your voice is always on, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know what that is. You know, it's funny because I tried to this company, like I wrote them and I told them about this, and then the guy was like, "Can you go on YouTube live and test it out?" I'm like, "I'm not like this is your job. I don't feel like doing this."
You meet people like that all the time that seem to just screw you over. I don't know where you're meeting these people.
Well, it's the company.
Yeah, I know. Every company you seem to go through for everything just takes advantage of you
I
somehow.
don't have any problems with the one I do the podcast on, Squadcast. I have no issues.
That's
None.
amazing because before you got Squatcast or whatever it's called, you had so many issues, right?
Well, no,
But I
that
haven't
wa
heard you complain about it for a very long time. You're right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Squadcast, they got their act together. This one, I don't know. They better get their act together because I'm gonna go on some other platform. You
Oh,
know,
you're talking about this, whatever this, what we're
Melon.
on.
They changed their name to the. I don't know why they changed Streamlabs. Now it's called.
Well, that guy, Lou Pellegrino, we know he's on something else, and we used it with him and Victoria, and it worked very well. Or the one we use for the Comedy Cellar show that Mike uses, which I thought was StreamYard.
Oh yeah, people use StreamYard a lot, but this one is.
We've never had a problem ever on that show.
Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll switch. This is my old audio guy said this was the best one.
With regard to my date, I'm not really sure. She's I don't know. I don't think I've ever met her before. But I don't know. She says we have, but I don't remember.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. I'm just going to meet her first. I hate meeting people after work. It drives me nuts, and I'm still working. So I just wanted to do nothing because I went out last night. So after the track, it's the strangest thing. One of my friends that I know through comedy from many years ago is the mayor of Red Bank, New Jersey, and he plays in this band over the summers, and he was playing right at the track, which was half of the reason I decided to go. There's like this really cool bar at the end of the track. So he was playing there, and I went last night and had a really good time. And you'll like this, Marina. He introduced me to this girl he used to know from, I guess, when he lived out in California. And they used to be in a sketch group that you might remember. They worked out at Caroline's. We all had the same manager and stuff. Their sketch group was called No Time something. I don't know if you remember if you were around at that time. Anyway, so I met this girl, and I started talking to her, and she's about my age. She's exactly my age. And she goes, well, I went to school in Manhattan, because now she lives in like an RV or something. She's like a hippie. And she goes, I went to school in Manhattan on 42nd Street. I'm like, 42nd Street? Did you go to the High School of the Performing Arts? She's like, I did. I'm like, are you in the movie Fame? She's like, I am. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, I have like a small part because they used all the extras from school. But I also got a call from the director, one of my favorite directors, directing that movie, Alan Parker. He like circled my head and they were looking for me and like this, whatever. And I auditioned for Doris Finstermaker, whatever her name is, the one who's supposed to be the Jewish girl and sings at the birthday party. So she auditioned for that, got real close. She didn't make it. Oh. They hired the Irish girl instead, which today people would complain about.
Right? Yeah.
But, I always hated that girl anyway. I think she was in that and Grease too, which I always found her really annoying. But so this girl's in that. And then it was so weird. She goes, well, I was also like, I did Broadway for a while. I'm like, what shows? I know a lot of Broadway. She goes, well, you wouldn't know it. It's a sequel to Bye Bye Birdie. I'm like, bring back Birdie? I'm like the only person that ever saw that with Donald O'Connor. And Cheetah Rivera, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, it only lasted 3 days. I'm like, I know, I saw it in previews. I have the album on my piano. I took a picture of it today and I sent it to her. It was like real fun, seeing somebody that's like in those kind of things. Well, for us, no one else cares. Like she met the most perfect person yesterday that gives a shit about her old career.
Right. Yeah, it's looking back, like there's a point in your life where you realize all of your references are just kind of not important anymore. I don't know if it's not important, but no one cares.
The kind of, so the reason I kind of stink at comedy is because for years when I was whatever it is that I was doing that I guess was working, in the sense that I'm friends with you and Attell and people like Sarah, you know what I'm saying? That somehow was working, was all like imitations. And those imitations were from a long time ago. So, it took me a long time to realize I can't be doing, Charlton Heston imitations anymore, or Ruth Gordon, as we like to make fun of on the show, because no one cares. And we've been talking about here on this show that there's nobody fun to imitate anymore. It's not like the old days when people had like kind of more of a personality. But so you're right. The references just go away and then you have to move on. But it just took me longer to move on than everyone else.
Well, I mean, at least awareness is where all learning begins.
Well, that's another thing too. I guess the reason that I know, I'm not very good, or that my stuff wasn't good, is why all these people are still friendly with me. Because, you couldn't be friends with a really shitty comic that wasn't aware. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's been multiple people in my life, like the woman that runs the West Side Comedy Club. I couldn't care less calling her out. I used to tell her, I'm like, you're a horrible comic. Listen, I'll be friends with you because I like you as a person. But if you're going to talk about comedy, I really got no patience for you. You stink. And I don't know why she never booked me again. Maybe that's something to do with that. But I just can't.
You talk too much. You got to be quiet.
I know, but I can't. If somebody's just so bad and they want to talk about comedy, I'm sure you understand it's very difficult to talk the craft of somebody that just isn't very good, or at least thinks they're good, and we know they're not good. Is that weird?
This stinks that this is freezing. I can see it.
How can you tell?
I'm looking on the YouTube right now.
But even if it's freezing, your voice isn't freezing. So
yeah, but it's annoying.
It's very blurry on your side. It's not very.
But it's
clear.
Not perfect. It's blurry. It's actually blurry on your side. I'm looking at it right now.
Was that right?
I think it's your computer.
But it was happening before I logged on.
No.
And I haven't had any other problems. Like, all the podcasts I do, and I never have problems. I tape the Tuesday show here all the time. Nobody has said my computer's been freezing, or I would get another one. I wouldn't fool around with that shit.
This is annoying me, though. It's
like you said, maybe it's
angry.
This platform, this Streamlabs.
Jenny said it didn't start until a moment ago.
Oh, here, it's my pleasure to do Paul Lynn, as I was talking about my
why
birdie.
Why don't you do me a favor?
I don't know what's wrong with these kids.
Okay. I just want to see if I freeze when it's like just me. Okay. I want to just do a test here. You guys are here for it. Let me know if I freeze. This will give Juskow a chance to do his little singing backstage. So let me know, guys. I just want to test this out just for a second, just to see if it's me, see if it's I'm all clear. Nothing is happening right now, right? So let me just, it didn't start to freeze until a moment ago. Okay, I want to hear Dave Paul's Lyndon impersonation arguing with Marina. What? Oh, you want to hear Marina's Keith Robinson? Ow, stupid. Thought my little donut film was funny. Oh, okay. Good evening from Stuttgart, Germany. This question, okay, this is a good paragraph for me to read and see if I'm freezing. I don't see it freezing. I'm looking on my phone right now. It looks fine. Let's see. This question is for both Marina And Mr. Juskow, if you weren't doing comedy at all, what do you think you'll be doing for a living? It has not frozen. I don't see it freezing. Marina, if you are using the home internet service to broadcast and watch on YouTube, your service could cause the problem. No, no, no. It's all clear. No. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, Mr. Noise. It's all clear now. So it's clearly Dave Juskow is I don't know. What do you think you'd be doing for a living? Okay, I'll answer this and then I'll bring Juskow back in for the choppiness. um so what would I be doing for a living? Oh no, he just left. What would I be doing if I weren't doing comedy at all? I'd probably be writing something artistic, something in the arts, definitely. I'm a creative person, always have been. So it'd either be I started off teaching theater. I used to direct plays. I'd probably be like a teacher at some school, teaching kids theater. My favorite class to teach, the favorite age to teach was like first graders, not kindergartens. You had to have a lot of energy. You had to be like doing the bumblebee song. You'd be jumping around a lot. Yeah, so yeah. And I was really good with first graders. High school students, my eye starts ticking. So I'm not good with them. So that's probably what I would be doing if I wasn't doing comedy. In some way, arts. All right, let's bring them back on. Let's see what happens. So it was good. Everyone says it was good, right? I see a journalist in you. Yeah, I don't know because the journalism thing. I'm kind of like, I say words wrong. That's why I do a podcast and I don't make it like a TV. So I say words wrong. I don't have all the facts. I try to get it right, but it's very difficult. Anyway, let's bring Jessica back on. And then Jessica, you may want to just maybe shut down your computer and restart again. That's all I was thinking. Maybe. Okay,
I
now
don't have it.
Jessica was back. You see, I wasn't freezing.
I don't mind the midnight swims. It's the loop that hurts.
Did you have to bring it back? There was nothing to say. Continue. Nothing.
That's what made it so funny.
God damn. Oh. So what would you be, Juskow? If Juskow doesn't really do stand up on a regular, so this question is that what would you do if you weren't
I never
doing
liked stand up anyway. So, I mean, I only did it to, become an actor or, do comedy acting. So, I mean, I probably do, unfortunately, what I'm doing now, work just a job to make money, unfortunately. And then, I mean, right now, I'm so much enjoying teaching, just like you're saying, that I love it, but I would have not liked it if that was my job out of college. Doing all this stuff in between is the reason I don't mind teaching. Still being kind of involved in comedy and doing all this stuff is the reason why teaching is great, because as we all know, those who can do and those who can't teach, and those who can't teach anything, teach gym. And it's just, but this, I'm absolutely loving teaching. So I could see doing that forever. I mean, I think I'm going to do it forever, now. But I still would still like to, and I wrote that book, and I'd like to write. Same answer as you, I guess. I mean, there's no way out of doing something artistic for us, right? Because our minds just work that way. I'm, I guess, lucky that I have a very good work ethic and I don't mind working in corporate jobs. It's very strange because I certainly don't come off as a kind of person that would fit in one. But I thank God that it doesn't bother me going to a job, because otherwise I'd just be dead on the street.
Oh my God, dead in the street.
Well, what would I do? I don't, have any skill. I want to do art like you, and it's if you can't do your art or be artistic, it's almost like you want to die, right?
Yeah. Oh, let's add Sujay to clear up our stream.
He does help everything.
Yes, hold on. Add a guest. Let's see. Email. Hold on. Sujay, you can clean this up.
What's a DFW area?
I'm going to send it to you right now, Sujay. There you
Marina,
go.
Angie asks if you're going to
Yes,
perform
I
the
don't. What's
DFW.
the
What's that mean?
DFW? Is that DC?
That's what I
Or
thought,
is that Detroit?
Detroit Rock City.
Is that Detroit area, Angie?
Why would she say DFW then? Sounds like so. Are we supposed to know what that is?
I don't. Dallas. Oh, the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Fort Worth. Listen, we're not from there, Angie. How are we supposed to know these terms?
Hey, this is a fan. You relax your ass. You know what? Hopefully soon.
Although I guess we put NYC and people are expected to know what that is.
Actually, though, Angie, there's going to be some changes. We won't mention it here, but hopefully soon. I'm working on a tour date. I'm working on some. This is my goal. My goal is to tour. I'm working on a new hour, and I'm working on some tour dates. So, Angie, I will get to you, and ignore Juskow.
Juskow's trying to help you, so shut up.
Let me ask you, Juskow, did you have a mask? Were you ready to go?
When?
During the storm that came in?
Well, I never went out, but I would have totally worn a mask. Yes.
Hey!
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, look, it cleared everything up.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's weird.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Sujay.
How are you?
Look how that cleared everything up.
Isn't that funny?
That's all you needed.
Why do you think it does that?
Maybe
Sujay?
it doesn't work well with two people. It works better with one or three.
Yeah, maybe it opens up more bandwidth when there's three people on the platform.
Which is why you probably have to leave this streaming service. It doesn't like two people.
Yeah, it could be.
We don't seem to have that problem when Evelyn's on too, I guess. I'm
Right.
guessing, right?
It may be worth writing to them and saying, this is what you're noticing.
I did.
Oh, you
did?
You know I did.
I do.
You know I did.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Several letters. Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. Then maybe it's time for a new platform.
And here's the funny part is like, even when and I am very specific in my letters, but they always come back with this robotic response. Somebody will reach you in 24 hours. Please be friendly. And it's like, no, motherfucker. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm having a problem. I'm paying you. I'm probably going to get rid of this soon. And we'll go to like Streamlabs or something. Cause this is ridiculous.
It doesn't affect anybody who's tuning in on YouTube or anything, right? It's just like that. It's not going to affect the show or anything, right?
No, it's just you just do a different platform. That's
Right.
all. You find a different way. But I just don't understand it. I mean, I'm just used to, it's like being, when you're older, you just hate to change stuff and you hate to like have to figure stuff out. So, but Sujay, how you feeling?
Oh, thank you. I'm great now. I'm on some really good meds, so that really helped.
Oh, that sounds like fun. That's a fun time.
Husband, yeah, and I get to just rest at home, which is really good.
And I never got a chance. I didn't see you after the show, our fundraiser. I really, really appreciate you and oh my God, Tamara for coming out to the fundraiser that we did in Harlem.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell me what was the takeaway that you had from that show?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was really interesting and helpful to see the type of work that those educators are doing, because oftentimes, right, we're talking about these underfunded schools, but we don't get to hear and see what the instructors are dealing with, right? It's usually like through news stories or through kind of second hand information, kind of just talking to the instructors and seeing what they were working with, the lack of resources. It really humanized, I think, that situation. So I think that was a really good outcome of having that event.
And Dapper Dan, what he said was so awesome, right? Like,
really, yeah.
Because we had, just so you know, if you're new to listening to, even coming on my live, what I did was a fundraiser to benefit, to support, raise money. It was a launch. So we're not done. Our goal was 60,000. We raised 10,000. Like so far we've raised 7,000 in 1 week. And it was really for these educators who have been defunded D3 tier 1 schools in Harlem, which means they're already like severely defunded. And then when the mayor defunded a lot of the schools last year, these are the schools, the teachers that are really struggling and working hard. Like they can't take breaks for their lesson plans. They can't take break, like a real good break for lunch. The teachers come to the parents are actually trying to help the teachers. It's a real community effort. And so we decided to do a night of comedy where the teachers can come, the parents can come. The kids don't have to dance for their meal, or, it's really about the community supporting and having a good time and raising funds for this very defunded school. And hopefully in the future, we're going to open this up to all of these defunded schools in Harlem, not just PS 180, which is the specific school that we were supporting. And, Bevy Smith was there. She's a real Harlemite. We did a trivia game. We had Dapper Dan came through because he loves supporting children, and he was there, and he just gave a great speech. And then we had all these comedians that were fantastic: Keith Robinson, Yamanika Saunders, Gianmarco Soresi, Sarah Contreras, Mark Theobald, and Kenise Circa, who hosted the show. And then I started off just jumping it off, and Natalie gave a nice speech. And it was just, you know what? I don't know if you noticed this, Sujay, but everyone was so nice.
Yeah, I was just going to say the community, like everything from like just entering in to then being in that space, the community was really vibrant, and you could feel how just supportive they were. It was amazing. Like all of the organizers, right, as well as the crowd, everyone was just super supportive.
There were no assholes. Thank God Dave was not there.
I would have told my Different Strokes Harlem story.
Oh no! Did Stacey, you were exposed to COVID again? Oh,
Not me.
Oh my God, it's still out there.
Wait, who was exposed?
Stace.
Oh well,
Wow,
I mean,
sorry,
how many?
Stace.
What are you getting exposed? What are you doing?
Don't be blaming her.
Come on, man. What's going on? I mean, oh my God, how many times has she had it already?
I think this is your second time, right, Stace?
Oh, second time. Okay, I thought it was like her fourth time.
Well, wow, but people are getting COVID still.
Yeah.
Yeah. My agent got his assistant got COVID like 2 weeks ago at a wedding.
Yeah, but it's not like it used to be, right?
Look at this. Oh yeah, my friend's elderly mom got it from her caregiver. Then her daughter got exposed. I didn't catch it again, but had to isolate. So yeah, like people are getting it. Like even Evelyn was telling me she had to like find out whether or not because she was exposed and she had to wait. So it's still out there. It's just
I even hadn't even had a cold in 2 years. It's been fantastic.
We should study him because he doesn't eat healthy.
No. I hang out at the track. There's so much AIDS and COVID there. Last week I was at the Producers Club where I think they started AIDS there. That place is so dirty and gross. You should never go in there, Marina. You would hate it there. Sujay, have you ever been there?
No.
It's just the whole atmosphere is just awful. And we went there. That's where we had Silver's memorial last weekend. Remember? Oh no, we didn't do a show last weekend.
Yeah,
right.
Because you were at a memorial. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so dirty and gross. It was like I was wearing a jacket and I put it on the seat next to me, and I'm like, should I put it on the seat next to me? And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm sitting in one of the seats, so it doesn't matter. But that's the feeling you get from that place.
Kind of like Dangerfields.
Yes, exactly. Perfect analogy. Yes.
Like stuck in the 70s and too much carpeting.
Yep. All red. Yep.
I was thinking this today. Why did we ever think carpeting was cool? Why?
Well, because I love carpet. Like I have carpeting in my bedroom because I love it. But I love waking up in the morning, putting my feet on the carpeting.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Ew, gross.
But it's just, basic carpeting. It's not, my cleaning lady, vacuums all the time. So.
Oh, look at Stacey saying, I think getting COVID in mid-March gave me a bit of an immunity boost. The variants circulating now are super contagious. Really? How come? Where do we get information? Sujay, do you follow? Like, there's no one's talking anymore.
I know. Yeah, I read in the Times, they'll have updates about COVIDs, but other than that, I know the CDC and some of the government websites will have trackers. But it's funny you say that because this week with the smoke cloud that came in, all of the trackers switched from talking about COVID to talking about air quality. So like you could turn on all the apps and see there, but it's there again, if these respiratory illnesses are actually made worse by the pollution and the air quality. So
I wonder if COVID floats through that smoke too.
I'm sure it does. Yeah, I'm sure.
Glad you told me to close my window. I mean, I was like, what do I do? I didn't know
told
it would
you?
help.
I told you that?
Yeah. Because we spoke that day. Because I was like keeping it open. I'm like, it really smells.
Because I'm so smart.
Yeah. Well, you've helped a lot.
I told one audience, I said, New York Comedy Club, I performed there, and it's such a fun energy at that club.
Which location?
Both actually,
Really?
but the one I was at in Gramercy, and it was on Thursday. I actually went out and did a show. I was wearing my mask. I was I was one of the few. I saw people out on Thursday, like at the Johnny Rockets over there in that area of Gramercy, like they're all sitting outside eating. And Thursday was still not the day, by the way, but and you could still smell it in the air, and I was like, I don't know, like, how can you enjoy food when you can smell campfire? Just call me crazy. It's not something that's enjoyable and it's just like a day off, like a day or two that you just don't. But I think people are so traumatized by the experience of having to not, like breaking from the norm of their life, that they actually just cannot do it. They can't, I saw the fear in some people's faces when this happened. Right. Like, you were scared, Dave. You were terrified.
Me? Of what?
I'm just putting it on you. Aren't you scared?
Of the fires?
Yeah. Or the sky? Weren't you scared?
Yes, I was.
See? A lot of people, and you know what's interesting to me is this, because you could see it, right? Like for me, COVID was the same.
Yep.
I didn't have to see it to be scared. But
I
it was
scared of that too. I remember going outside and just feeling I was going to be, you're just afraid you're going to breathe it in.
Right.
It was terrifying. Like just going outside, like I'm going to catch it just walking outside. Yeah, I get that way too.
A lot of people said that it reminded them of 9/11, and after 9/11, the air was thick with smoke like that.
But then it smelled more like
bad
waffle syrup. I don't know, like that was.
Oh, there was a waffle syrup.
Point. Which now I associate with death. Which is so.
That I do
horrible.
remember that syrup thing. What was that about?
And what is that smell exactly? Who knows? I don't know. Asbestos.
I do remember
flying
that
through the air.
Yeah, I don't trust, like my paranoia goes in the direction of I don't trust what's like, if I get like I don't I don't trust the government. I don't trust that the government did what they were supposed to do to alert me. Right. So I get over prepared.
Right. And they did it. Yeah, there was articles about that from CUNY environmental scientists saying that actually the mayor did it all wrong. They knew about this several days before, and they should have actually put in the protocol at that point rather than handing out masks as people were becoming asthmatic or having, attacks. Like,
I mean, it's too late. By the time he walked out, remember he said, he goes, "Oh, I walked out," and I was like, "Oh, this ain't good." Yeah. No. And then he tried to say, he told one reporter, I remember, he was like, let's not put that out there that I could have been ahead of this. No, that's actually what a reporter's job is to do, is to question you and get to the bottom of why you weren't ahead of this. And I remember I was playing Fortnite and someone on there was saying to me, well, how could he have known? Could he have known ahead of time?
Yes, because air moves slowly. Like there were many days of knowing the patterns were coming down from Canada. This came from Montreal and Quebec, right, where they've had more than 400 fires. So yes, that air had to go somewhere.
Yeah, he ain't. You know what? just like, it's time to get rid of his ass. I'm sorry. I am not even going to be nice about it. Once I saw that he was defunding these schools and I see these kids like really suffering because of it. And here's the other thing is like we need to deal with the fact that Harlem is an injection site, overly so. Oh, like it's just like no, 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 no. Everyone has to do their fair share in this, okay? Don't dump it all in Harlem. Put it some of that on 95th Street, 87th Street on the east side, 57th Street on the don't just dump it in Harlem, you know. There's no I hear conversations from the Harlem Coalition about this, but this should be in the news. And apparently in Albany, right? I get so heated. Because the affordable housing thing, nothing has moved, right?
Nothing at all. Yep.
Nothing. And why? Do you know, Sujay? You're so smart.
No, so are all of you. No, I've not been reading up on that recently, but with the migrant situation, they were going to put migrants at the SUNY campuses and also in places of worship now. But it's interesting because they never label places like West Village or Tribeca or Upper East Side, right? They want to place them in the margins where they'll be more, invisible. So
yeah, it's. I know they were having difficulties in certain areas in Brooklyn because it was close to schools with kids.
Right.
And I think one of the places where they said the migrants were mostly men. Yeah. So that was the main problem. It wasn't that they were just migrants. It was that they were all men. And so, you just don't know. And I can understand that. I mean, Yeah.
I finally saw some the other day. I haven't, seen any. I've heard about it. I walked past the Roosevelt Hotel the other day and saw a lot of them hanging out from there.
See them on the train all the time.
I see them on the train.
They're always selling like cookies or sweets or trying to earn some extra money.
Yeah, with the kids on their back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always give them money because I'm always like, because I see more of it now. And then I saw a whole family that I wasn't sure. Like, I don't want to label them migrants, but I was pretty sure they were, but they look so happy to just be. And something about that made me feel good. Like, I was like, this isn't my land.
Right. Yeah.
This is your land. Isn't that the song?
Yeah.
This land is my land.
Yeah. By the way, I just wanted to say I loved the episode with Kaveh Khanum and the poetry organization that you did. I've been following Kaveh Khanum for a very long time, and some of my favorite poets actually used to teach in that program, and it's really amazing. So I'm glad you highlighted it.
Oh yes, I have her. I'm gonna pull that up now that I have you. I feel secure. No, not Kaveh Khanum. She was just amazing.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Very sweet, very kind.
Teaching people how to have sex properly, or safely. That's good.
No.
Yeah, Cafe Condom.
That's not.
That's nice.
What it was.
When did she open that? Do they serve coffee there?
Are you thinking about that for your date tonight?
Good one. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope she doesn't come over here.
Okay, here she is.
This is how you live? Oh.
National level. And I just think, it's really easy to kind of move in the direction of let's get the cupcakes, let's get the things and the materials, let's, have the picnics. But I really hope that it can be a time of reflection and remembrance and just all that energy that it seemed like we were, coming up with a few years ago in the height of the pandemic. I would really love to see Juneteenth be that reminder of supporting the Black community, supporting our first Independence Day, and of course representing a Black organization, supporting Black literature, reading Black books, supporting Black writers, supporting independent booksellers, supporting the written word so that we can continue to have conversations like this and be informed and, have a space for everyone in this society properly supported with equal resources. Just want to, highlight Juneteenth is coming up. It's
what the hell? You're playing it again? What the hell is happening?
Now the nation is going to, kind of honor on a national level. And I just think, it's really easy to kind of move in the direction of let's get the cupcakes.
I just want to make sure that you heard that what the the premise to that.
And I will say in that episode, the review was by Roroki Images, beautifully stated, deep diver.
What?
I was trying to help. I was trying to do the Evelyn job.
Was that's what they wrote?
No, sorry. Beautifully stated, dive deeper.
Oh, dive deeper.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I panicked, like I was like nervous that you were going to cut me off.
I was like,
trying to do the right thing.
Got a deep dive?
And I'm off for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's so great.
You guys keep it up.
Absolutely. Lucille Clifton, Toy Derricott, so many important Black poets actually worked and supported Cave Canem. It's been hugely influential.
I'm going to watch Get Out.
Saying condom. It does say
Cave Canem.
But you're saying condom. It does sound like condom.
Cafe Condom. I'm going to go there.
Cave Canem. I was saying it wrong. I think I think I was saying Canem. But yes, it was just so great. Also, because I used to write. Jessica, I don't know if you knew this, but I used to write a lot of poetry. I have boxes.
No.
Yeah, when I was 12 years old, I wrote a poem about slavery. I clish clash, go the chains at my feet. My body of a 12-year-old is aching from the heat. Yeah. Wow. And my grandfather was like, because my grandfather wrote a script about DuSable, who discovered Chicago. And one of the things was he didn't know that someone else in his family was like into literature like him. And he told my mom, he goes, Maria, your daughter here. So my poetry, though, I used to always want it to be found like in a real way, like the unknown artist. So like my mom moved from her house in the suburbs of Chicago to North Carolina, and she left a lot of the stuff in the basement because she still rented out that house. And the guy was like, who is the one who's writing this poetry? This stuff is really, really good. And that's how I wanted it to be found. I was like, yeah. No money though.
If you put it in a box, I can like carry it down the street and then accidentally trip. And then people will be like, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's an unknown writer named Newman.
I have so many poems. Like I used to it used to just pour out of me.
That's cool.
Oh yeah. I used to write it because I would get angry and I would just write poems. And because my education was interrupted, I went from Highland Park to like the south side of Chicago to what was not all of south side of Chicago was poor, but this particular school I was at it was a D3 school, and so my education kind of like stopped.
Right.
So it clicked in me, like my trauma thing, whatever you want to call it, was poetry. So I used to write, and I didn't have to worry about commas, and I could express myself, and it just would flow out of me. Thousands of poems. I have thousands of them.
You should get back to it. I studied poetry and creative writing in college, and so with some really.
He's a journeyman.
I know.
He does everything, a little bit of everything.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, it's I worked with a really great performance poet, Tracy Morris, and some other names like
Tracy
Marie
Morgan. He's very good. Very good.
Yeah, you should get back to it. It's a good cathartic, really, even if no one else reads it, it's good to put your stuff down on.
I saw Tracy Morgan at the Condom Cafe actually doing some of his readings. He was fantastic. Hey-o, am I going to get cut off?
No, more because I was like, what? Was he? I could actually see him doing that. That would actually be kind of cool. Tracy Morgan reading poems.
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan reads Marina's poems.
I would love that. That would be a great audiobook. But Dave, you should come up to the Schomburg Center. They're doing a really special event today for Juneteenth. They have a huge literary day for Black culture and literature. I think
where's that? What's that going to be? What time? Actually, I think Oh, is it that late already? You know what? I got to get going.
There's going to be several events. Actually, I'm striking for the Writers Guild on the 20th for Juneteenth. We're doing a Writers Guild Juneteenth. The Black writers who are members of the WGA East we're going to be holding up the fort. And that's going to be my first day doing some real striking,
Nice.
Because I haven't done it. I need to do that. Right. I need to go out and do that. you didn't know I was from Chicago. Yes, I am, girl. Yes, I am. See, I'm doing my Chicago voice.
Did you go to the farmer's market today?
I did.
Oh, how was
But
it?
it was like, you know what? And the annoying guy was there that Juskow loves.
You told him that you have a sold out show this evening.
I know. Oh, thank you, Sujay.
Oh, is today the Jersey City one?
Yes, it's sold out.
Well, of course it's sold out. There's a giant billboard. If it didn't sold out, that would be pretty bad advertising. Waste of money.
I don't know if every show did though.
Well,
I'm not sure.
This is a festival, so what time do you have to get over there? Are you nervous?
No.
I get nervous getting out of the city. I get very, very uptight.
Really?
Yeah.
How did this become about you?
Well,
How?
I mean, that's what I do. That's why
Yamanika said that to me last night when true story. I saw a guy, and I'm saying this to actually save your life, on a revel. Car hit, and he was laying out on the street. And I was walking to the cellar. Wait, let me finish. Walking to the cellar, and he was laid out, and I was rushing from one spot to the next, so I couldn't stop to help. But Yamanika pointed out how I was like, I felt so bad, like that I couldn't do anything. She goes, of course you made this about you. Like, imagine how he felt.
Well, that almost happened to me on what day was I going down there this week? Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I totally almost rammed into a guy. Stopped short. The guy was making whatever lane you're in, whether it's a bike or a thing, the cars just make turns. So, but I'm usually I'm really careful. I know someone's going to do that. So I'm kind of prepared that even though they won't put on, so many people don't use their blinkers. So many.
Yeah.
80%
it's gotten
of
bad.
people.
I think it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
congestion
I
in the
am
city.
prepared, and I try and always look around to see if to see which way the arrows are going, to see which streets are going that way, and be prepared if that's going to happen, because it's going to be so easy to slam into a car. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before, but I really try hard to pay attention, because these drivers it's not even all the blinkers is their fault, but with the bike lanes, that's almost impossible. If you're from out of town, there's no way you could know when you're making a left and there's a left turn signal that it's not, that you still have to look out for cyclists, because they have the green light even on a left turn signal. So it's not even your fault if you hit them. It's a mess. But that, of course, is the action that I enjoy.
Yeah.
There is something entertaining about almost being killed just going to dinner with some friends. And those friends, I went to Kanji Village, and it was quite delicious. We were the only white people there.
I really see, when I saw that guy on and he was out. I don't know if I did. I was like,
Aww.
I really hope that's not Juskow. But I did keep walking because I had to get to my spot. I had to get there. I haven't run from one spot to the next in such a long time. And I was I had gotten off it was a mess yesterday. But seriously, you got to be careful, Juskow. I would say don't do it.
Be careful. Yeah.
Those things, unless are you wearing a helmet?
Yeah. With the Revel, I wear a helmet because they make you wear one. They supply it. They just, sometimes they don't have hair nets, and then I just won't. They give you hair nets.
This guy did not have a helmet.
Everyone's wearing the same helmet. But with the city bike, I do not wear a helmet because I don't want to carry it around after I use it.
They have, and they have really great collapsible helmets. You can get them at the MoMA store, so that they don't weigh anything and they collapse, so you can carry them in a bag really easily.
Well, I don't like to carry bags.
Or you can carry them in your hand very easily.
Did you know what cops call on bikes, on motorcycles, the helmets? You know what they call them? They're like brain. That's where all the brain goes into the helmet. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know. I just, like I said, that's pretty exciting. They could just die any moment going down. Just
welcome, white boy. Brain bucket. That's it. Thank you.
Brain
bucket.
Yipes.
It's just, look, those rebels are no different.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Well, most people don't know how they don't ride them properly, but I mean, it's my fault too. I'm riding it in the bus lane and going on the right side of cars
Ooh.
to get through traffic. So it's totally my fault. But there's no real, I mean, that's the point of using them, is that you can kind of zip through. I mean, it's easy to just ride along with the cars, but like I said, it mostly comes down to people not putting on their directional signals.
Listen, even the cyclists are not doing the right thing. I saw a cyclist on 6th Avenue, one way, going the wrong way in the middle of 6th Avenue. Me and the Uber driver were like, why is he? And he was driving, he was like this, going in the middle of the street, going the wrong way.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah.
And I was just like, that's the thing, is like, I think it's a lot of lawlessness right now. And so, like, until that's the
It's
mayor
not even
is,
that's all pedestrians too, especially on
Yeah, that too.
55th Street goes west. So I take that a lot. That's a hilarious street where every pedestrian, there's the outdoor restaurants have made it even worse. So people are just, and you can't even blame them. They're going to the bathroom. They're sitting in the outside area. They're going to the bathroom. Why would you ever, when you're dining, expect you're going to be run over by a cyclist? You know, you're not thinking, you've had a couple glasses of wine. You're just using the bathroom of the place, and people aren't paying attention that there's a bike lane out there. So I usually try and go much slower, thinking that in my head. But I have stopped short so many times when people just are not paying attention. And I don't even blame them. I'm not going to yell at them because they forgot that there's a bike lane. You know, if you're from out of town, how are you going to know that? It's like being in London, Marina, right? Or Sujay, I don't know if you've ever been there. And you know how we are here in the city. We wait off the curb. We wait in the street for the lights to change. There, if you wait in the street, you get cut off by the cars. They come right close to the curb, making crazy lefts and rights that we don't have here.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I just want to share some pictures from the fundraiser that I put up on Instagram. If you're following me, you've already seen it. But there's
You look good there.
Yamanika and Mark Theobald.
Oh, that's
And
Yamanika?
Yeah. And then, oh, that's me.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's an old picture. I meant to go this way. There's Gian Marco Cerezi with one of the teachers.
Yeah. Miss Opal, I think was her name. Yeah.
Yes. And there's Kenise. There's Sarah Contreras, Yamanika, Mark Theobald, and me.
Wait, who's the one on the left?
Right here. This is Kenise Circa, who we've had on the podcast. She's from South Africa. She just moved to New York.
She's really pretty.
And she's going to be a star. I had her host the show. She was fantastic.
Oh, she's a comedian.
Yes. And you could see in my pocket. Do you see what that is?
A helmet that's collapsible?
That's no, that's my microphone. And
I love carrying the microphone off stage when you have your own. I love just playing with it like off stage and putting it every time I ask somebody a question, just putting it to their mouth, you know.
And you could see, like,
what do you think of Marina's set?
You see you could see the supporters, Friends Like Us, Imagine Society, Fat Pigeon back there, Genius. There's Bevy Smith. She is the Harlemite. She has her own show on Sirius. Bevy was also on the Friends Like Us podcast, and you would appreciate this, Juskow. She does a whole thing about it gets greater later. There is Dapper Dan, and he is the fashion mogul. He is a celebrity in his own right with Bevy Smith. I can't see Juskow. Is he behaving?
Yeah.
Okay. There's the owners of the only Black comedy club in Harlem, the Comedy Club in Harlem. There's Jamie and his wife, Sunny.
They never asked me to play there.
You can if you want. I mean, but wait, let's look at this. Look at Dapper Dan.
Girl,
Dapper Dan. Look at this outfit.
Very stylish.
Oh,
that's why they call him Dapper Dan.
I mean, yeah.
He's got the mushroom suit.
Imagine Society up here. That's Jeannie Gaffigan's. And then there's Kenise again hosting.
I guess she's doing comedy there.
And look at who else was there. Mr. Robinson. And then one of the lovely teachers. I love this so much. We had such a good time.
They were so sweet, really, really sweet.
Yes. So, are there any other reviews, Juskow? From so just so you know, if you're just joining us or if you never joined us before and
That's
you're
all
on
I
here
saw.
live right now, the reason we do this is to promote my podcast. It's called Friends Like Us. And before both of you, well, Sujay, you were probably here, but Juskow, you probably didn't hear me say this, but I realized last night I was sitting at the table, I was listening to some other, they were white guys talking about their podcast and how much they make a month on Patreon. Is
Really?
guess? You want to guess?
These white guys you're talking about that you were sitting with at the cellar? How much
Wanna
they make a month? I have
on their
no
podcast?
idea.
You want to get? You want to guess?
Well, I always go by like Kevin Brennan usually, and I feel like he makes like $8,000 a month. Is it something like that?
$14,000 a month.
How is that possible? I make $20.
I make 200 on pay. Well, I have not put any effort in.
I put a lot of effort in too. That's the worst
Not into
part.
the Patreon and not into like actually making money for the podcast. I really have not put a lot of effort into it because for me it was. I know this sounds crazy, but it really wasn't about that for me. It was really about like just is like an extra business card to put out there of all of these talents, and that's unrealistic. I do realize you do need to, make some money so that people know that it's worth it and it's valuable, right? What do you think, Sujay?
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts the last couple of years, and it's sometimes it's not the ones with the great content that become successful, but with the kind of cross vertical marketing strategy, right? So they do these like tours of their podcast, then they sell merch, and then they promote it on YouTube, and so it's oftentimes not. It's just kind of about aggressively marketing their content, even if it's not necessarily like, for example, I've never heard an interview with a Kaveh Khanum developer, right, on any of those podcasts. So it's really interesting that like it's really much more about marketing than content, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe I need to get out the whip on my assistants.
Do more. Yeah, exactly. And just connections, right? And the live places that you perform with, the podcast and promote it in those live places more and, things like that. So,
yeah, because they $14,000 a month on Patreon.
Right.
I could move to Vermont.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything else.
Right.
I mean, if I was making that on my podcast, I would just do a daily podcast.
Yeah.
I would do like a radio show every day. I would love that. I would. That's what I would. I would be content doing a podcasting my whole life. When somebody just asked, I love doing the podcast. I love talking. Obviously, I love talking to people. That would be how I would spend the rest of my time if it paid.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear Manscaped ads soon.
And I'm really good about, keeping it going. Like I do it every week without fail, except between Christmas and New Year's.
Right.
Like I do 50 episodes a year.
That's
I
good.
take off 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I do bonus content almost every week.
Right.
I
mean, I really try hard, but nobody seems to care. But
well, it's what Sujay said though. It's about like, marketing, cross marketing, really being specific. I think I'm starting to. So like just by having guests on, like you were saying, that are very fantastic because we're tapping into an audience that may not have listened to the podcast before because it was all comedians. Right. And now I have guests that are museum curators and we have a guest that's coming out on in 2 weeks who is talking about, hair loss, which is really important. Menopause is something that I've noticed has become a trending topic. I think there's more women going through it now than ever because women are living longer. And so it's more of a conversation than I've ever noticed before. I don't remember so many women talking about it as I have lately. And so and hair loss from COVID, long COVID caused hair loss in women. Did you know that, Juskow?
What the hair loss is what?
I mean, you deal with hair loss, but
yes. Yeah, it's awful. I mean, it's an obsession with men. It's horrible.
So women are dealing with this too, and it's real, you know. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her products that she uses, and how, you know, it can be somewhat like for women, because I think women don't normally talk about hair loss. It's mostly a man's story, but you know, especially with the Jada Pinkett thing, and you know what she went through, and how she, you know, no one seemed to care when she was, you know, alopecia is a serious thing, and no one
Everybody
seemed.
cares if she just you know, just went about it the wrong way.
I don't know how she went about it the wrong way. I think she just rolled her eyes. I still don't get why people really don't like her. Okay, Hectech, you go make that money. Make that money. We do have to get out of here because I have to get ready for my show in Jersey. But one thing I do want to say is, I want to ask you, Sujay. You think Trump is going to get arrested? What do you think?
Oh my gosh. Well, judging just based on the photographs of all of the boxes he had lying around and strewn around, I wouldn't put it past the DOJ
I mean, what was he having parties and getting drunk and going, "Hey, look, these are the nuclear codes."
Precisely. They said he was so cavalier about it that he would bring people like Kid Rock in and say, look, I have these documents here.
I mean, that's like, he's like, but like, I'm not shocked, but I'm shocked that no one was at least monitoring him with that.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping that we knew he was a loose cannon, and then he had a lawyer quit, right, today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, anyway, Sujay, I really, really super appreciate you for joining us today. It helped clear out this live stream. I don't know why it only works with 3. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But thank you, and I hope you feel better. How much more recovery time?
So I have this week, I'm teaching my literature course again. So I'm actually teaching James Baldwin this week, but so that's the only kind of work I have to do. But otherwise I'll just be recovering and resting. So
nice. Do you can you go outside at all, or?
Yeah, I should be able to go for walks.
Just lying. It's the summer. Nobody's teaching this time of the year.
Unfortunately, I have a summer class, or fortunately. So yes.
Yeah, I would say fortunately. I was hoping I would do a summer class too.
Yeah.
James Baldwin. That's awesome. Which one? Is it all of it?
Giovanni's room. So the class is on literature and diversity. So I'm doing Giovanni's room.
So important right now because they're, as you see, they're banning books and banning poems.
That's right.
Banning Amanda Gorman's poems. So we need people and educators like yourself. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And Juskow, what are you doing?
I was tying my shoes.
So where can we find you, and what are you doing this week?
This week, nothing. Doing the Tuesday show at the Comedy Cellar, nightly show on YouTube Tuesday at 6. We got this this little girl on who's trying to do comedy, but she's also an artist and she's kind of cool. And I think that's it. Yeah, we don't have the I don't have the Saturday show yet.
Oh,
this week, yeah. It's
that's right.
Yeah, so I'll be back next week for that.
Make sure you promote your show. Where's that show?
Mine? The one, it's in Rutherford, New Jersey at the Williams Center, usually every Saturday. There's a festival today that for, Natterman and Rich Voss, I think, are there. I mean, you could go there to see them.
Oh, okay.
Promote Hatem.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. Anyway, this was lovely. You guys were so awesome. Let's give ourselves just a also for surviving the storm. And listen, this stuff is not over. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure that's something you should never stop doing. I hate to be annoying, but wash your hands. Also, get those K95 masks. Have them, you don't have to go out and get a whole bunch, but just have a box ready for whatever is coming. Because as we know now, they're not alerting us in time and it's not predictable. So be ready, be prepared. And Black Lives Matter. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget to listen to friends like us. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.